Chapter 5 International Marketing Strategies. So, as businesses expand globally, they need effective marketing strategies to reach different markets and stay competitive. International marketing is all about adapting a company's products, services, and promotions to fit the needs and preferences of customers in different countries. So now let's talk about market entry strategies. So these are the different ways a company can enter a new international market, depending on its resources, goals, and the type of market it wants to reach. So exporting is the simplest method, where products are made in the home country and sold abroad. It is a good way to test the market with low risk, but the company has less control over branding and may face high shipping costs and tariffs. The next one is licensing and franchising. So these allow local companies to use a brand or product. This reduces the cost and risk for the original company and uses local expertise. But it may lead to problems with quality control or brand consistency. So the joint ventures and strategic alliances involves partnering with local businesses. So this helps companies share resources, reduce risks, and better understand the local market, but it requires strong coordination and trust between partners. So the next one is the foreign direct investment, or the FDI. So this means setting up operations like offices or factories in another country. So this gives full control over the business, but it requires a large investment and comes with higher risk. And lastly is the e-commerce and digital marketplaces. So this allows companies to sell products online to international customers. So this is a more flexible and cost-effective, especially for smaller businesses, but it's very competitive and requires good marketing strategies to succeed. So global branding and positioning. So this is about creating a strong and consistent brand image worldwide while still adapting to different cultures and markets. So first is developing a global brand strategy. So this means that having a clear and consistent identity that reflects the company's values. So big brands like Coca-Cola and Apple do this well by keeping a consistent message while still adjusting slightly to fit local preferences. So next is positioning for local relevance. So this means that adapting the brand to match local culture and consumer behavior. So for example, McDonald's keeps its family-friendly image but changes its menu and marketing depending on the country. So another important part is the balancing global consistency and local adaptation. So companies need to decide which parts of the brand stay the same, like the logo or core messages, and which parts can be adjusted to fit local tastes. So then there is the managing brand equity. So this is the value people associate with the brand. So this depends on quantity or the quality, the reputation, and customer experience. So companies need to stay consistent to maintain trust across countries. And lastly is companies use local influencers and partnerships to connect better with customers. So working with trusted local figures helps build credibility and makes the brand more relatable in different markets. So product adaptation and standardization. So companies need to decide whether to keep their products the same globally or adjust them for different markets. So first is standardization, means offering the same product in all countries with little or no changes. So this helps reduce cost and maintain a consistent brand image. So companies like Apple and IKEA uses this approach because the products meet universal needs. However, it may not work well in markets with different tastes or preferences. So on the other hand, product adaptation involves changing products to fit local needs, culture, and regulations. So for example, Nestle adjusts its flavors depending on the region. So this makes products more appealing to local customers, but it can increase costs and make operations more complex. So there's also a hybrid approach called localization, so which combines both strategies. So companies keep the core product the same but make small adjustments for the local market. So this allows them to stay consistent while still being relevant. So the decision depends on factors like culture, consumer preferences, market demand, and government regulations. So companies need to balance this for cost efficiency with customer satisfaction. And lastly, even packaging and branding may need to be adapted. colors, symbols, and language can have different meanings in different cultures. So adjusting them helps avoid misunderstandings and makes the product more appealing. So the pricing strategies in international markets. So pricing is important because companies need to consider local economies, conditions, competition, and how much customers can afford. So first is cost-based pricing. This is when companies set prices based on production and distribution cost, then add a profit margin. So it is simple, but it may not always be competitive, especially in price-sensitive markets. So next is competitive pricing. So this is where companies base their prices on what competitors are offering. So this helps attract customers, but companies need to constantly monitor the market and adjust their prices. So next we have the market-based pricing, which focuses on demand and purchasing power. So in richer markets, companies can charge higher prices, while in more price-sensitive areas, they offer more affordable options. And lastly is the dynamic pricing and currency fluctuations. So this allows companies to adjust prices based on demand, seasons, or events. So in global markets, they also need to consider currency changes since exchange rates can affect costs and profits. So the next one is the promotion and distribution channel. So promotion is about how companies communicate with customers. So localized advertising and messaging means adjusting ads, language, and visuals to match local culture and values. So this helps brands connect better with consumers. So next one is the social media and digital marketing. So this also plays a big role. Platforms like Facebook and Instagram allows companies to reach people quickly, share content, and target specific audiences in different regions. So next is choosing distribution channels. So this is about how products reach customers. So companies need to choose direct channels like direct selling, retail stores, or e-commerce, depending on what works best in each market. And lastly is working with local distributors is also helpful. So they understand the local market, including customer behavior and regulations, making it easier for companies to deliver products efficiently. So effective promotion and distribution help business reach customers, build awareness, and improve accessibility in international markets. The importance of business marketing in today's economy. So in today's fast-changing and competitive environment, marketing is very important for businesses to achieve growth, sustainability, and relevance. This is especially true in business-to-business transactions, where companies deal with other companies instead of individual consumers. So understanding these effective marketing strategies helps businesses handle challenges, build strong relationships, and succeed in the market. Facilitating business growth and expansion. So this is how business marketing helps the growth and expansion. So marketing allows businesses to identify new markets, reach potential customers, and create awareness about their products or services. So this helps companies enter new areas, expand their customer base, and increase sales. So in a competitive environment, having an effective marketing strategy also helps a business stand out from competitors and support long-term success. So the next one is building strong relationships and trust. So in business-to-business marketing, relationships are the foundation of successful business transactions. So companies invest in personalized communication, consistent engagement, and exceptional service to create strong bonds with their clients and stakeholders. So these efforts help establish trust and credibility, which are essential for long-term partnerships. So trust is not only encourages customer loyalty, but also leads to repeat business and referrals, helping the company expand its network and reputation. So in competitive markets where clients have multiple options, strong relationships and trust become key differentiators that can set a business apart from competitors. So the next one is enhancing customer understanding. So business marketing depends on market research and analysis to understand customer needs, preferences, and behaviors. So this insight helps companies design products and services that meet market demands and stay competitive at the same time. So by using data analytics, surveys, and customer insights, businesses can identify pain points, anticipate trends, and tailor solutions that add real value. So this customer-focused approach increases satisfaction, builds loyalty, and encourages repeat businesses. while helping organizations make informed decisions, reduce risk, and strengthen their market position. So the next one is adapting to technological advancements. So rapid technological changes have transformed business marketing, making digital marketing central to reaching larger audiences and engaging customers in real time. So platforms like social media, websites, and email campaigns allow businesses to communicate value, boost brand visibility, and build strong customer relationships. So keeping up with the trends such as marketing automation, AI analytics, and mobile engagement is essential for competitiveness. Companies that adapt effectively can respond faster to market demands, enhance the customer experiences, and strengthen performance in today's digital economy. So driving innovation and competitive advantage. So business marketing not only promotes products but also drives innovation and strategic growth. By analyzing customer feedback, market trends, and competitors, organizations can identify opportunities for product development, process improvements, and service enhancements. So, this approach ensures that businesses stay relevant and responsive in a changing market. So, a strong marketing strategy also creates a competitive advantage by positioning the company as a thought leader, showcasing expertise, unique value, and innovative solutions. So, this differentiation helps attract and retain clients, enhance reputation, and support sustained growth and industry leadership. Supporting brand development and awareness. So, effective business marketing is crucial for building and maintaining a strong brand identity. A clear and brand communicates an organization's values, mission, and unique offerings, helping customers understand what the business stands for. So, through consistent messaging and strategic campaigns, businesses increase visibility, credibility, and recognition. A strong brand attracts new customers, builds trust with existing clients, and encourages loyalty and advocacy. So, in a competitive market, brand awareness significantly influences purchasing decisions and supports long term success. So, the next one is navigating economic challenges. So, during economic uncertainty or downturns, effective business marketing is crucial for adapting to changing market conditions, customer behaviors, and the competitive dynamics. So, by leveraging data and insights, organizations can identify new opportunities, optimize marketing efforts, and make informed decisions. So, strategic marketing enables businesses to weather economic challenges and emerge stronger, maintaining growth and resilience over the long term. And lastly is contributing to economic development. So, business marketing not only drives growth for individual organizations but also contributes to broader economic development. So, by facilitating trade, encouraging innovation, and creating jobs, it plays a vital role in fostering a vibrant and competitive marketplace. So, organizations that effectively market their products and services support a healthy business ecosystem, stimulating competition and economic progress at both local and global levels. So, in today's complex and competitive economy, business marketing is more than selling products, it is a strategic imperative. Through effective strategies, organizations can build strong relationships, enhance customer understanding, and adapt to technological advancements, creating competitive advantage and sustaining growth. So, investing in robust business marketing strategies is essential for organizations seeking to thrive and for contributing to the overall health and development of the economy. So, trade financing and payment methods. So, trade financing and payment methods are essential for facilitating international trade, allowing businesses to conduct cross-border transactions efficiently while managing financial and operational risks. So, these tools help companies address challenges such as currency fluctuations, differences in creditworthiness, political instability, and delayed payments. So, by understanding the available financing options and payment mechanisms, business can ensure smooth cash flow, secure transactions, and strengthen trust with international partners, ultimately supporting global trade growth and reducing exposure to potential losses. So, trade financing provides the financial tools that make international trade possible. So, helping businesses manage the cost and risk of importing and exporting goods. So one key instrument is the letter of credit or LC, which is a bank's written promise to pay the seller a specified amount within a set time frame, as long as the seller meets the required conditions. So LCs protect both buyers and sellers. The seller is assured that the payment if they fulfill the terms, while the buyer knows that payment is only made when the agreement is met. So there are different types of LCs. A revocable LC can be changed or cancelled without the seller's consent, while an irrevocable LC cannot be altered without agreement from all parties. So a confirmed LC involves a second bank guaranteeing payment and adding adding extra security. So a standby LC serves as a backup, ensuring that seller is paid if the buyer fails to meet obligations. So overall, letters of credit reduces risk, build trust, and help ensure smooth international trade transactions. Documentary collection. So in a documentary collection, the seller sends the shipping documents to their bank, which forwards them to the buyer's bank. The buyer can only access the documents once they make payment or accept a bill of exchange. Compared to letters of credit, this method is less secure because payment is not guaranteed, meaning the seller bears more risk. However, it is more cost-effective and simpler. The process usually involves both the seller's buyer's banks, with the seller's bank handling the collection of payment on behalf of the seller. So the next is the trade credit. So trade credit occurs when a seller allows a buyer to purchase goods and defer payment for a specific period. So this form of financing is common in domestic transactions, but it also used in international trading. Trade credit helps businesses manage cash flow by letting them sell products before paying their supplier. So it also relies on trust between buyers and sellers, making strong relationships essential for making this arrangement. So the next one is the bank financing. So banks provide several financing options to support international trade. Working capital loans help businesses cover production costs and expenses while waiting for payment from buyers. So pre-export shipment financing allows exporters to obtain funds to produce goods before shipment based on confirmed orders. So payment methods. So choosing the right payment method is crucial in international trade as it affects cash flow, risk, and transaction speed. So in advance payment, the buyer pays for goods before shipment, which is secure for the seller but risky for the buyer if the goods are not delivered. So open account terms allows the buyer to receive goods and pay later, which benefits buyers but carries non-payment risk for sellers. Though it can also give sellers a competitive advantage. So bank transfers or wire transfers are fast and generally secure but require proper verification to avoid errors or fraud. So digital payment platforms like PayPal and TransferWise offer accessible and cost-effective alternatives, especially for small and medium-sized enterprises. So the next one is cryptocurrencies. So this provides decentralized payment options, enabling peer-to-peer transactions without intermediaries, but their volatility poses risk for businesses. So trade financing and payment methods are essential for efficient, secure, and profitable international trade. Businesses must carefully assess their options, considering risk, cost, and the nature of their trade relationships to ensure smooth transactions and effective cash flow management. So the business marketing process. So the business marketing process involves a series of strategic steps that organizations follow to identify, promote, and deliver their products or services to other businesses. So this process is essential for building strong relationships, generating leads, and achieving organizational objectives. So by understanding the key stages of the business marketing process, companies can develop strategies that effectively engage their target audience and create value for their clients. So the first step in the business marketing process is conducting thorough market research. This stage is essential for understanding competitive landscape, identifying trends, and determining customer needs. Organizations gather information through surveys, interviews, focus groups, and industry reports. Market research helps identify target markets such as the industries or sectors most likely to benefit from the product or service. It also involves analyzing competitor strengths, weaknesses, pricing, and marketing strategies to find opportunities for differentiation. Additionally, understanding customer behavior, including decision making, processes, the preferences, and pain points, enables businesses to make informed decisions and develop effective marketing strategies. So, after completing market research, organizations apply the segmentation, targeting, and positioning, or the STP framework. Segmentation divides the broader market into smaller groups based on criteria such as industry, company size, location, or purchasing behavior, allowing businesses to address the specific needs of each segment. So, targeting comes next, where the most viable segments are selected based on factors like size, growth potential, and alignment with the company's goals and capabilities. And finally, positioning involves creating a unique value proposition that sets the product or service apart from competitors. So this step defines how the offering meets target audiences, needs, and communicates the value clearly. So developing the marketing mix, commonly known as the 4Ps, the product, price, place, and promotion, is a key step in the business marketing process. For product, organizations define the features, benefits, and specifications of their offerings, ensuring they align with customer needs identified during market research. So price involves setting a strategy that reflects the product's value while remaining competitive, including discounts and payment terms. Place focuses on distribution channels, determining whether to sell directly through distributions or via online platforms. Promotion covers the marketing and communication strategies used to raise awareness and generate interest, such as advertising, social media campaigns, content marketing, public relations, and direct sales efforts. So after establishing the marketing mix, organizations focus on lead generation and nurturing. So this stage aims to create awareness, spark interest, and guide potential customers through buying process. So content marketing is used to provide valuable information that address customer needs and positions the organizations as an industry leader. So networking and events such as trade shows, the conferences, help connect with potential clients and showcase offerings. So email marketing allows businesses to engage leads with target messages, relevant content, and invitations to interact further. So lead nurturing maintains ongoing communication to build relationships and guide prospects toward purchase using follow-up emails, personalized content, and tailored offers. The sales and transaction management stage is where leads are converted into customers. Consultative selling plays a key role as sales teams engage with potential clients to understand their needs and show how the product or services meets them. Tailored proposals are developed through clearly present the value, pricing, and terms of the offering. So this stage also involves negotiation to agree on pricing terms and delivery schedules. So effective sales management ensures a smooth transition from lead to customer, making clients feel valued throughout the process. So after completing the sale, organizations focus on customer relationship management to ensure satisfaction and foster loyalty. So this involves providing ongoing customer support to address issues and enhance the user experience. So gathering feedback helps assess satisfaction and identify areas for improvement, guiding future marketing efforts and product development. So retention strategies such as loyalty programs, personalized communication, and exclusive offers help maintain long-term relationships. So by nurturing these relationships, businesses encourage repeat business referrals and sustained growth. And the final stage of the business marketing process focuses on evaluating marketing effectiveness and marketing improvements. Organizations set key performance indicators or KPIs to measure success, such as lead conversation rates, customer acquisition cost, and sales growth. They analyze data from campaigns, customer interactions, and sales to identify trends, success, and areas for improvement. So insights gained are used to optimize strategies, refine the marketing mix, and adapt to changing market conditions. So the business marketing process, from market research and segmentations to CRM and performance evaluation, provides a structured approach that helps organizations strengthen customer relationships, enhance marketing effectiveness, and achieve sustainable growth. So, in a competitive business environment, following a well organized marketing process is essential for success and long term relevance. So, the market entry strategies. So, choosing the right market entry strategy is essential for companies aiming to expand internationally. So, each strategy offers a distinct advantages and challenges, and the choice depends on factors such as market potential, risk tolerance, available resources, and regulatory conditions. So, by understanding the different approaches, companies can select a strategy that aligns with their businesses, objectives, and the specific characteristics of the target market. So, exporting is one of the most common and low risk strategies for entering international markets. So, it involves producing goods in the home country and selling them abroad, allowing companies to expand globally with minimal investment. So, exporting is particularly suitable for smaller businesses or for companies testing a new market. So, in direct exporting, companies sell their products straight to foreign customers or distributors, giving them greater control over sales and branding. Though they must manage logistics and distribution themselves. So, indirect exporting, on the other hand, uses an intermediaries such as export agents or trading companies to handle these processes. While this reduces the operational complexity, it also limits direct interaction with the customer. So, although exporting is cost effective, business may face challenges such as tariffs, shipping costs, and limited control over branding and customer service. So, companies that successfully navigate these challenges can gradually strengthen their presence in the market and explore further investment opportunities. So, the next one is licensing. So, it is a strategy where a company allows a foreign partner to produce, market, or use its brand or technology in exchange for royalties or fees. So, this approach enables companies to expand quickly with minimal financial risk, leveraging the local partner's knowledge and resources. So, for instance, a technology company might license its patents to a local manufacturer, who then produces and sells the products while paying royalties. So, licensing generates revenue and avoids large capital investments in the foreign market. However, companies must protect their intellectual property carefully, as licensing can expose proprietary information and potentially lead to imitation or loss of control. So, franchising. It is a type of licensing where a company, the franchisor, allows a foreign business, the franchisee, to operate under its brand using a standardized business model. So, it is common in industries like fast food, hospitality, and retail, where brand consistency is crucial. So, franchising enables companies to expand globally with limited financial risk, as the franchisee manages local operations, investments, and regulatory compliance. So, for example, McDonald's has grown worldwide by letting local entrepreneurs run restaurants under its brand. However, maintaining quality control can be challenging, and franchisors must ensure that franchisees follow brand standards. So, a joint venture is a partnership where a foreign company and a local firm create a jointly owned business. So, it allows sharing of resources, expertise, and risk, making it useful for markets with high entry barriers or strict regulations. So, joint venture are common in industries needing local knowledge, such as healthcare, finance, and technology. So, the main advantage is gaining access to the local partners, market insights, networks, and regulatory knowledge. So, for example, in countries with foreign ownership restrictions, a joint venture provides a legal market entry. So, challenges include aligning goals and operations, as cultural and business differences can cause conflicts. Clear agreements on profit sharing and management control are essential to avoid disputes. So, next is the foreign direct investment, or the FDI. So, this occurs when a company makes substantial investments in a foreign market, such as building factories, offices, or retail locations. So, FDI is suitable for companies with long-term growth goals, as it allows full control over operations and customer interactions. So, greenfield investments involve building a new facilities from scratch, providing complete alignment with global standards, and this approach is common in manufacturing but requires significant capital and thorough market knowledge. So mergers and acquisitions, or M&A, involve buying or merging with an existing company to quickly gain market share, infrastructure, and local expertise. Companies like Google and Microsoft often use acquisitions to enter new markets. However, M&A carries risk, including integration issues, cultural differences, and regulatory challenges. So the advantages of direct investment. So direct investment gives companies full control over their foreign operations, allowing them to maintain quality, enforce global standards, and strengthen brand presence. It also helps build closer relationships with customers, suppliers, and employees, improving responsiveness to market trends. So this strategy is ideal for companies seeking long-term growth and a strong presence in high-potential markets. And lastly is the challenges and risks of direct investment. So FDI involves significant financial risk as companies are exposed to economic and political instability in the host country. So currency fluctuations, regulatory changes, and labor issues can affect profitability, while adapting to local culture, legal systems, and business practices can be complex. For example, a retail company investing in a foreign market may need to comply with the local labor laws, which may differ significantly from those in its home country. So, despite these challenges, FDI offers substantial growth potential and establishes a strong foundation for companies committed to international expansion.